The eunuch serving Tuye looks horrified as Tuye talks to himself with a sinister expression, reasoning that this method can deduct a large number of points while also benefiting him, so it is no wonder he comes up with such a brilliant scheme. Tuye then turns to the eunuch and orders him to summon Zhao Zhuo and Li Tianyuan to the study immediately, and the eunuch quickly agrees. A few moments later, Zhao Zhuo and Li Tianyuan enter the study. Tuye greets the ministers with a smile, urging them not to stand on ceremony before inviting them to sit down and feel at home. Zhao Zhuo scoffs, while Li Tianyuan politely thanks Tuye. Once they are seated, Zhao Zhuo suggests that since Tuye has ascended the throne, he should familiarize himself with the courtier's affairs by holding court the next day. At the same time, Zhao Zhuo grins sinisterly, planning to discuss the matter with the ministers of the Zhao faction later so they can unite and prevent Tuye from stepping down tomorrow. Meanwhile, Tuye wears the same sinister smile, wondering if diligent governance is not a bonus, and considering it foolish to hold court immediately after ascending the throne. He remarks that holding court is troublesome because he lacks experience as a newly crowned emperor, so he intends to trust the two ministers with handling court affairs. Li Tianyuan immediately notes that Tuye has indeed rejected Zhao Zhuo's proposal to hold court. With his brow furrowed, he considers how Tuye not only predicted that Zhao Zhuo wanted to suppress him in court, but also used his trust in the ministers as the reason for refusing, leaving the argument impossible to refute. As he observes Tuye, Li Tianyuan concludes that Zhao Zhuo's shallow schemes are completely inadequate in front of him. On the other hand, Tuye decides that it is time to bring out his plan to recruit concubines and deduct points. After clearing his throat, he declares that they should set court affairs aside for now, because he summoned the two ministers that day to discuss something else. Tuye blushes as he explains that since he is the emperor, having only Zhao Shu in the harem is rather embarrassing, so he has decided to gather beautiful women and expand the harem. Zhao Zhuo is horrified, considering how the late emperor's body has not even gone cold, yet Tuye is already thinking with his lower body, making this a level of shamelessness he has never seen before. Meanwhile, Li Tianyuan is astonished that Tuye specifically summoned them for an audience to discuss something unrelated to state affairs, leaving him wondering what this harem recruitment is supposed to mean. Tuye looks excited as he insists that the matter needs to be handled quickly, privately wanting to clear his national PowerPoints sooner rather than later. Both Zhao Zhuo and Li Tianyuan are left speechless. Zhao Zhuo then expresses support for Tuye's idea of gathering beauties from all over the world, though he raises concern about doing it too hastily. Before he can continue, Tuye cuts him off, acknowledging that gathering beauties from all over the world cannot be rushed, so they should begin by searching within the capital. Zhao Zhuo is astonished, wondering if Tuye really needs to be this impatient. On the other hand, Li Tianyuan warns himself not to be misled by the pretext of gathering beauties, because Tuye specifically mentioned the capital, which is probably the real focus. Tuye then reveals that he has already devised the most time-saving and effortless method. Looking sinister, he proposes that they begin by selecting from the female relatives of the ministers in court. Li Tianyuan is horrified by what he hears. A few moments later, the ministers leave the study, and as they walk down the stairs, Zhao Zhuo remarks that Tuye is ignoring state affairs while trying to expand the harem, which is exactly the rhythm of a true tyrant. He adds that Tuye is digging his own grave by sitting in the emperor's position, which will save them a great deal of effort. However, Zhao Zhuo is startled when Li Tianyuan suddenly yells that it is enough. Looking furious, Li Tianyuan warns that if Zhao Zhuo continues underestimating Tuye like this, what awaits them is the fate of having their entire families executed. Zhao Zhuo is taken aback and falls speechless at Li Tianyuan's reaction. Li Tianyuan quickly recognizes what he has just done and immediately looks away to regain his composure. He apologizes to Zhao Zhuo for losing his composure earlier, then explains that Tuye's actions are all part of a cunning strategy. Hearing that it is a strategy, Zhao Zhuo admits that he cannot see it. Li Tianyuan points out that Tuye has just foiled Zhao Zhuo's plan to embarrass him in court, proving that he understands their intentions completely. Zhao Zhuo counters that they were summoned to the palace immediately after making that plan, meaning there was no opportunity for the information to leak. Li Tianyuan explains that this only means Tuye anticipated it beforehand, which is exactly what makes him so terrifying. Beyond refusing to hold court, Tuye also wants to expand the harem. And while this series of actions appears indulgent and misleading, Every move is aimed at them, forming one cohesive chain of strategies. As the two ministers look toward the palace gates, they feel as though an ominous, dark aura is oozing from them. Zhao Zhuo then presses Li Tianyuan to explain what this cohesive chain of strategies actually means. Li Tianyuan explains that Tuye has the confidence to avoid holding court because he believes he can still control state affairs without doing so. His face turns horrified as he adds that by bringing the female relatives of the courtiers into the harem, Tuye can directly win ministers over through marriage and weaken their influence in court. Realizing the severity of the situation, Zhao Zhuo grows nervous and presses him on what they should do. Li Tianyuan grins, reasoning that there is nothing else they can do because Tuye is currently the emperor, and if he wants to expand both the two-family bloodline and the harem, then it is only natural. He then turns to face Zhao Zhuo, and while thinking of two specific ladies, Li Tianyuan smiles sinisterly, declaring that as Tuye's subjects, they naturally have to fulfill his wishes. A few days later, in the palace side hall, Li Tianyuan reports to Tuye that, following Tuye's orders, all descendants of the Tu clan have been demoted to commoners over the past few days, except for the eldest prince, Tu Su. Because he is stationed outside, the decree has yet to reach him. Tuye brushes the matter aside for later, then turns red as he brings up the harem selection he ordered. Li Tianyuan assures him that they have carried out Tuye's command, though the limited time prevented them from preparing more, so he requests his forgiveness. He then claps his hands, calling the ladies forward so Tuye can inspect them. Tuye eagerly waits, only to be stunned when a large group of beautiful ladies lines up before him. His eyes immediately twinkle, and he starts drooling as he wonders whether this is paradise, while Li Tianyuan looks at Tuye with clear disappointment. After the ladies pay their respects, Tuye clears his throat and allows them to rise. Still drooling, he moves closer to Li Tianyuan and wonders whether any of the concubines recruited this time are the type who like to indulge. Li Tianyuan is unsure what Tuye means by indulge. Tuye frowns, convinced that Li Tianyuan is pretending to be innocent, because even if he has never heard the term before, he should understand the context of the conversation as a man. Meanwhile, Li Tianyuan begins wondering whether Tuye has grown suspicious. Most of the concubines brought into the palace this time come from influential noble families, which appears perfectly reasonable on the surface and raises no obvious issues. However, two women are different, Fan Taozhu and Zhuge Sha. Li Tianyuan recalls that more than a decade ago, during the reign of Emperor Qian of the Great Qian dynasty, two prominent families, the Fan family and the Zhuge family, offended the late emperor and were completely wiped out. While carrying out the execution, he acted on a sudden impulse and secretly saved two young girls. For more than a decade, he has hidden their identities and raised them by his side. Unexpectedly, both ladies inherit the talents of their predecessors and eventually become important pawns in his hands. One night, Li Tianyuan summons Fan Taozhu and Zhuge Sha. As the two ladies bow before him, Li Tianyuan reveals that the Qian emperor, Tu Qianjun, who exterminated their entire families, is already dead. The news horrifies them, and Li Tianyuan points out that they were unable to take revenge personally before probing whether they still harbor resentment. He then reveals that an opportunity to bring down the Tu clan is now before them, but the risk is enormous. The new emperor, Tuye, is not only cunning, but also depraved and cruel, even more terrifying than Tu Qianjun, making the mission nothing less than life-threatening. Fan Taozhu immediately declares that she is willing to die 1,000 times for revenge, while Zhuge Sha reveals that she has long been prepared to sacrifice herself. For Li Tianyuan, this creates the perfect opportunity to place both ladies beside Tuye under the guise of selecting concubines, guaranteeing that no one will suspect anything. Back in the present, Tuye's eyes continue twinkling as he scans the ladies until two missies catch his attention, Fan Taozhu and Zhuge Sha. Watching Tuye closely, Li Tianyuan is astonished and immediately wonders whether Tuye has noticed something. Using Downey, Tuye examines Zhuge Sha's information and attributes, learning that she is the granddaughter of the prominent scholar Zhuge Tiangang from Tu Qianjun's reign. She is the sole survivor of the Zhuge family after its extermination, was adopted by Li Tianyuan, and has approached him for revenge with the goal of destroying the country. Tuye checks Fan Taozhu the same way and learns that she is the granddaughter of the wealthy merchant Fan Shuiyan from Tu Qianjun's reign. She is also the sole survivor of her exterminated family, was adopted by Li Tianyuan, and has likewise approached him to seek revenge and destroy the country. Tuye smiles at Li Tianyuan, amused that those two missies were originally planted by Li Tianyuan as undercover agents. In his view, this is actually perfect, because snake-like and scorpion-like beauties who stir up trouble inside the harem are practically standard equipment for a tyrant destined to lead a country into ruin. With a sleazy smile, he approaches the two ladies, praises them for being quite exceptional, and wants to know their names. Fan Taozhu confidently gives her name, while Zhu Geisha grows nervous and begins to stutter. Tuye moves toward Zhu Geisha and points out how nervous she seems. Li Tianyuan immediately becomes extremely tense, fearing that Zhu Geisha's introverted nature, combined with Tuye's imposing aura, might cause her to expose herself. Tuye lightly grabs Zhu Sha's chin and reassures her that she has nothing to fear, because he is actually very approachable, grinning as he stares at her face. Suddenly, Zhu Sha can no longer endure it. Tears begin flowing from her eyes, while saliva spills from her mouth, completely catching Tuye off guard. What nobody else knows, and what even the system's hidden attributes fail to record, is that whenever Zhu Geisha becomes emotionally tense, being touched by the opposite sex in sensitive areas, including but not limited to the chin, causes her to faint from embarrassment. Fan Taozhu becomes worried, while Tuye is horrified by the unexpected reaction. Li Tianyuan is equally horrified. Tuye had intended this to be a performance of favor meant to win Li Tianyuan's heart, but seeing Zhu Geisha in such an awful state, he never expected her tolerance to be this low, completely ruining the act. Even worse, Tuye suspects that Li Tianyuan will now fear Zhu Geisha's identity being exposed and find some excuse to replace her. Suddenly, someone drops to his knees aggressively. It is Li Tianyuan, who takes responsibility for neglecting his duty and making an improper selection, resulting in Zhu Geisha behaving improperly before Tuye. Because of that failure, he declares that he deserves to die and intends to deal with Zhu Geisha immediately. Tuye immediately refuses, knowing that the only option left is to force the performance to continue. While carrying Zhu Geisha in his arms, he declares that he actually likes this type, someone who cannot resist even a little teasing. So the people Li Tianyuan selected have truly captured his heart. Fan Taozhu glares at him, convinced that the tyrant really is a pervert. Li Tianyuan wipes the sweat from his face and expresses his gratitude. Tuye then decides that Zhu Geisha will serve him in bed that night. Fan Taozhu continues glaring at him, certain that the tyrant will eventually pay for everything he is doing. However, she becomes flustered and puzzled when Tuye suddenly turns toward her with an inquisitive look. Tuye wonders why Fan Taozhu is staring at him with so much dissatisfaction. Then his face turns red as an evil grin appears, and he wonders whether she also wants to serve him in bed. Instead, Tuye decides that the three of them should play three-person landlords that night, leaving Fan Taozhu completely surprised.